talking about UTXO management is also like partially not wanting to expose a bigger stack. Like if you're spending out of UTXO that has 1,000,000 sats, or that you've sent 1,000,000 sats to your hot wallet or whatever, and then you're spending with that UTXO, say 100,000 sats, are you exposing that 1,000,000 sats from that UTXO?
Yes.
Is that part of UTXO management too?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Being aware of your inputs. Yep.
Because the way that I think about it is like each UTXO is like a bill, whether that's like $1 bill, $20 bill, or whatever. But then when you spend out of it, you are getting the change or like a return UTXO of the unused sats out of that UTXO.
I used to use the term traveler's check, that they get dissolved in each transaction.
I like thinking of it as like chunks of gold. And when you put it in a transaction, you literally fucking merge them together. And then whatever you have left over, you chip off and send back to yourself.
But there's conservation of mass, right? So conservation of sats.
Yep. And there's always going to be a little bit of fee to send that gold over the mail, you know?
It's just that, like, you often want to describe it in comparison to gold, right? So
the one thing I like about
you
the gold
guys are all really, really smart.
Is that
this is fun.
Is that gold, can be broken up into lots of different sizes. So I mean, the thing that
again depends on your audience, right? Like, talk to your audience. Like, if people understand science, talk to them in scientific terms. If they understand finance, try and talk to them in finance terms, etc. And you can't orange pill people. That's another point. People orange pill themselves. You might be able to persuade them to put down some initial amount of Bitcoin, but what happens is, and maybe you can help trigger some curiosity, but they have to act on their own curiosity. They have to decide they want to learn more about Bitcoin. And that process is organic. You can't force it. And eventually it happens to people, or it doesn't happen to people. If it does, they learn more about Bitcoin, and they get laser eyes, and they go fucking crazy, and they become one of us.
I mean,
that was exactly what he was talking about in the article that I read on Tuesday. The orange pill for Bitcoiners is that the whole idea is it has to be inception. Like, you can explain it all logically, and obviously Bitcoin makes the most logical sense as to why it should be the base money for the world. That doesn't make a difference. You can give people all the problems that Bitcoin fixes, and that doesn't make a difference. You can give people the specific problem they have and how Bitcoin will fix it, and that usually won't make a difference. Logic just doesn't fucking matter to most people, unfortunately, and it has to be their idea. You have to incept them with this sort of thing so that, like Walton said, they get curious for it, they have a taste for it, and they chase after it themselves. It's one of those things that you can't force this on people.
That's what they have to learn. The same thing is true about learning. You can't force education on people. They have to kind of participate and try to learn more if they actually want to, like, get it. And they have to get it to, you have to kind of get it with Bitcoin, right? You have to understand it.
I've learned through my my gallivanting through the FinTwit spaces is that if you want to, like, orange pill people pretty effectively, you just tell them you don't want to talk about it, and then they want to talk about it very, very rapidly.
Mike, are you getting groceries right now, bro?
No, he's doing overtime.
A bottle of scotch, actually.
You can lead a horse to a pharmacy, but you can't make him eat the pills or something.
But you can give it ivermectin.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. That was the joke I needed.
I mean, I agree with all of that, though. I mean, and especially, too, if you kind of get somebody on Bitcoin, whether it's you give them some or do something else, then they're going to be just very obsessed with the price. It's almost like, I don't know, to them, like telling somebody that, to purchase a stock or something. And if that stock doesn't immediately go up, they're looking at you the entire time and just, like, blaming you that they're losing this, like, paper money. And then they're pissed. Yeah.
That's actually such a good point. I will give you a firsthand anecdotal experience. So I've got 3 brothers and 2 parents. Most people have 2 parents. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, I got my brothers all invested in Bitcoin by giving them a little bit to start, and then I encouraged them to buy, and then I encouraged them to educate themselves. Everyone in my immediate family at one point held Bitcoin. Only one of them still holds it, and that's the one who fucking educated himself about what he owned. The rest of them sold all of it when it went up a little bit. The one that held on ended up panic selling when it started going down. So you can give someone something and it's not going to matter. They have to actually understand what they own.
It's actually
so,
a perfect story because my brother's been asking me lately. My half brother, his other half siblings, he's got 5 of them, because their parents were rabbits. He's basically trying to figure out now, since like both his parents are gone, like what
Catholic?
but he's trying to figure out essentially what their inheritance plan is going to look like, because now their parents really left them any money, that sort of thing. So he's like, well, like I'm the only Bitcoiner, and like essentially he wanted to figure out what the best way to do it all was. So he was thinking about like giving them all Bitcoin, setting them all up with wallets, doing all this sort of stuff. And I was like, bro, just don't worry about any of that. If you want to, set up all these wallets for them, or set up one wallet and store this Bitcoin in there and keep track of it somewhere on the side, and then just inform them about Bitcoin every now and then. Just bring it up. You don't have to tell them that you're stacking for them. The people that seem interested, the people that show the desire for it, at that point, maybe you can give them, show them how to set up a wallet, send them their Bitcoin, see what they do with it, leak in a little bit at a time. It's one of those things where, like, exactly, and it's one of those where, like, he's got some of his siblings aren't going to accept it. It's not going to be a thing. Like, his old sister's not going to fucking take it. It doesn't fucking matter. So, like, I'm like, you can go ahead and stack for her, but, like, don't ever fucking give her a wallet, because she's just going to get rid of it as soon as she can.
Right, it's got to be voluntary. It's got to be people opting in, like, because that's how education works well, and also that's the spirit of Bitcoin, right? Like, the whole point is that this isn't money that's being forced on people. Like, people, and yeah, they should be opting in, but you shouldn't be trying to force them. And don't look to kind of weakly orange pill people. Like,